The Lions and the Raiders facing off, and this was a game where the Lions got demolished last week, so the media hops on their bandwagon, and then after they go to Tampa, beat the Buccaneers, basically everyone in their running back core gets hurt. Even Craig Reynolds, I believe, was banged up in that game, and then Jared Goff says, "Put the team on my back. I'm going to go out here and throw for 353 yards, ball out in that game." And then second game of a back-to-back on the road, go to Baltimore, 3 and out, Ravens score, 3 and out, Ravens score, and then you're pretty much down 21-0. Not really a shot coming back, especially with that number one pass rush in the NFL. So you pretty much had the worst game you're going to have all year. The media immediately jumps off the bandwagon. Stephen A. Smith has you as the number one team, then he drops you out of his top five. No consistency there whatsoever, no understanding of how a long NFL season work. Sometimes this just happens. Sometimes you lose to a team that's better than you. And Monday night, field goal, field goal, field goal. Seemed like the team was a little bit hesitant, but then we get that Sam Laporta touchdown going into the halftime, and the Lions really had control throughout the whole game. Scoreboard doesn't really tell the whole story because the Lions definitely, Jared Goff had a bad pick six, and then it gave the Raiders 14 points, but their defense shut them down the whole night. Jimmy Garoppolo was not having a fun day. Their defensive tackle was in the backfield. Aleem McNeil was in the backfield all game. And then their secondary was blitzing. Some of the safeties and corners were even getting involved on the pass rush. So the Lions were getting active on defense, which is really where this team needs to lean on. And then Jared Goff led the team down the field. And then Jahmyr Gibbs finally had his day where he explodes for 189 yards. And it was loud in there. Even Troy Aikman wasn't annoying in this game. This was actually a pretty nice Troy Aikman game where it seemed like him and Joe Buck were enjoying the Lions' energy, where they're like, this is a team that's usually out of contention by Thanksgiving, but it was loud in that building. As soon as they would get a turnover, the crowd would do the whoa chant, and then it was just loud, rowdy in there. Their defense dominated, and the scoreboard doesn't really tell the whole story because this was a thorough domination up and down, and then you just had a few bad turnovers. A Craig Reynolds one, a bad Jared Goff interception where he's trying to throw the ball away, but also a great play by Marcus Peters where he gets the pick six. So your defense held them to 7 points, though, and that's pretty much all you can ask.
Yeah, exactly. So realistically, the score probably should have been 26-7. We had a great defensive performance by the Lions. You saw them get pretty roughed up by the Ravens offense last week. The way that they were able to rebound from that, take care of the Raiders, held them to below 200 yards. And when you have someone like Devontae, Josh Jacobs, Jacoby Myers on that team, holding them to 200 yards, albeit with an offense that is all sorts of messed up currently, still very applaudable. And Lee McNeil getting in the backfield, getting 6 sacks on Jimmy Garoppolo, who has been banged up. Jimmy Garoppolo did not have his best game, but credit to the Lions. I mean, they did start off a little clunky, but once when they got to that second half, you saw Sam Laporta get some action. Amon-Ra St. Brown made some great plays, but Jahmyr Gibbs, the dog, finally got his day. He finally got his bone, and nearly 200 yards, all scrimmage. So fantasy owners are definitely happy there. But Lions, their defense, big problem last year, worst defense in the league. You see them contain Josh Jacobs. You saw them hold Devontae Adams to 1 catch for 11 yards, albeit there were some balls that Jimmy Garoppolo definitely missed, but applaud to them. This was a game, coming off of their worst game of the season, being able to rebound and dominate the Raiders.
Yeah, and this is a game where it's a dominant performance from the Lions. This is what they should do. This was a bounce back game from them, but however, there's still some bulletin board material where Dan Campbell's like, hey, we did dominate this game, but Jared, that was a pretty suspect pass. We can't be doing that. Hey, Craig Reynolds, if you want to stay on this team, you are a grinder. We love your attitude on this team, but we can't be fumbling the ball near the goal line, and we can't be dropping it when we're about to get a touchdown there or at least a field goal. We just got to hang on there. So for the Lions, it's like, I like that they're winning, but they still have more to improve upon, and the coaching on this team has been excellent. So I have plenty of faith that they'll improve week in and week out.